Hi guys, thanks again for tuning in this evening or this morning, wherever you may be. Very grateful for you guys watching my videos. As you can see here, the lineup is a little different. I actually have a couple of my smaller production knives here on the board. And that's because I'm going to be doing a overview on my latest acquirement. And it happens to be a production knife. I know I've been doing a lot of custom knife videos, but I still really like production knives. I can't really deny a company when they make such a great knife, and that is the case with this guy here, the CRKT Eros. Let's see here. It's one of their more expensive knives for its size. I believe they retail around like $100, $120, but it is full titanium handles, stainless steel pocket clip. It has IKBS, and it has their Akuto Plus steel on there. It's a flipper, and one of the things that made me get this knife is the flipping action. Just look how fast that is. Minimal effort too. One of my favorite things to do is just hold it with two fingers here and just light switch it down, and it fires out no matter what. And that's a combination of a couple things. It has a really strong detent for what it is, for the size, and also a really light blade. So once you break that detent, no matter, you really gotta, you can push button it, but the way that the flipper is designed, you really gotta do the light switch method to bring it out. Because if you push button, you're just pushing on the apex of that. So you can see the apex of it is in line with the pivot there. So you really got to go at an angle to break that detent. But that does cause it to flip out no matter what, which is great. Now, one of the appealing things to this knife is just the light weight factor. It's 1.4 ounces, which is a great departure from my other titanium knives, which are like 6, 7, 8, sometimes 9 ounces. And that's achieved through a lot of things. One, it's a thinner knife. It's a great gentleman's knife. When I put it in my pocket, I can barely tell it's there. It's great for slacks, sports coats, what have you. But also, they do some crazy milling on the titanium. They put holes in there, they got some lines, and also I thought this was a really cool feature. You can see here they just cut out the lock bar on there, and there's no relief on there, it's just bent in, but it does create some awesome lines. There's no lock bar cut out to take away from the design that they have. It's pretty intricate in here, and I mean, it provides a strong detent, good lockup, pretty late, but I mean, it hasn't moved since I got it. So, and I've been flipping this in my car at work, and that's another reason why I got this particular knife, is that it's less threatening than some of my, like a Quayback, like bringing out a 3.5 to 4 inch blade at work. It's kind of scary to some people that aren't used to knives. But if I bring out this little not dainty, but this elegant knife, people tend to turn their heads less. It is a tip-up only carry, which, I mean, for a Ken Onion design knife, it's par for the course. His mid-techs are the same. What I thought was pretty cool was this, the pocket clip also kind of doubles like a lock bar over travel stop, but I can't really, just prevents you. But I'm pushing really hard on that, guys, so it's only there for extreme cases, but it works. It's a pretty good knife. Let's get a little closer in here. Try to focus. So you can see it's Ken Onion design. He has a typical CRKT and Ken Onion billboards on the blade. Take a closer look. We got some oil leaking through, or some of the grease from the factory, which is fine. There we go. Just look at the crazy details they were able to achieve. Flip it over. You can see here the standoffs. The screws go straight into the titanium, which we'll have to see if how good that is. It being such a light knife, I'm not going to be putting it under a lot of pressure, so I don't see it being a problem. But yeah, you can see a nice little detail. The IKBS logo is on the pivot, which is cool. You don't see that too often. It's a nice little aesthetic touch. As I mentioned earlier, about 75 to 80% lockup. The flipper itself has some pretty aggressive jimping, but that catches your hand. I have pretty fatty fingers, so catches the fat there. When I pull, done. Game over. Flips open. It's awesome. Let's do some size comparisons. Let's move this out of the way. Now, the main knife that a lot of people are going to be comparing this to is going to be the Ripple, which I have right here. This is my Walmart Ripple. It was 30 bucks. It was awesome. It was my first IKBS blade. And for $30, you can't really go wrong with the Ripple. Focus. Same thing, tip up. It has like the alien pattern, as Nut and Fancy like to call it. Got some holes. I modified mine a little bit. Two-tone stone, acid stone washed, and satin flats. I was just playing around, but I kind of like it. But this is a little bit bigger of a knife. And this used to be one of my lightest knives until this guy came along. We'll put these butt to butt. There we go. As you can see, this is we'll call it the Walmart Ripple. There are the Ripple 2, the frame lock Ripples, and the latest generation. I was going to get the latest generation, but I decided to go with the Eros instead. And I think I made a great decision, because I already had a Ripple. Both of them fire out, but after playing around with the Ripple, not the Ripple, but the Eros, the Ripple starts to feel chunky in my hand for what it is. Yes, it's still a small knife, but it's still thicker. But let's see here. So here it is. Here is another small EDC. It's a 3-inch injection by Kershaw. You can see here the Kershaw is a little bit bigger. I would say it's about a 1/4 inch bigger. Put that off to the top. Let's do something else here. Let's do the mini grip. This is the Doug Ritter mini grip Tillion, which is still my favorite EDC. Such a great blade shape, such a strong blade. It's about a 1/4 inch smaller, the grip Tillion, than the Eros. So overall a great size. Like all these knives that I'm showing you guys right now are just great everyday carry knives. You can't really go wrong with them. And they'll do what I need them to do, which is cut open boxes, cut tape open, break down cardboard. So I'm not really asking too much from my knife, so that's why I felt like that the Eros would be a good fit in my collection. And it is. Very happy with it. The one thing that I would say could be improved, it being a Taiwan-made knife, is the grinds on here. So if we look at here on the presentation side, we can see that the bevel is pretty much perfect. It's pretty uniform. That changes when we go to this side. So you can see there's a drastic change on there. This side is ground. The bevel is a lot thicker. And if we were to look at the point, focus, you can see how it's uneven. And that kind of adds to the centering, which it looks off center, but that's just due to the uneven grind. Now, I mean that's something I've come to expect from production knives, but I kind of didn't expect it from one of CRKT's more expensive knives. And I've reached out to them, and they've been awesome, great customer service. They emailed me back right away saying that they're going to resolve the issue. I sent them pictures of it, and they've been nothing but helpful. So kudos to them. You know, things get past quality assurance sometimes. I do understand that. That's one of the reasons why I like my custom knives too, just because quality assurance is the maker itself, whereas the quality assurance on this knife probably went through like 3 or 4 or 5 people for inspection, and it should have been cut, but those people might have not. It could have been well within their tolerances for that particular day. But I'm just glad to report that CRKT has contacted me back and is willing to resolve the issue, which is great. I'm going to play around with it a couple more days before I ship it out, just because I just got it last week. I wanted to carry it on a little bit more, and it is a beautiful knife. I've been posting it up on Instagram, so it's definitely a looker, and it's lightweight. It's can't really say too much negative things about it. It's everything I needed in a $100 knife. Yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Have a good day.